Hi friends, cheers. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Drink your water, it's good for you. Hydrate, this is your daily reminder. And if you want to be drinking something else, that's totally fine. I don't judge. Booze, coffee, tea, juice, milk. Bless me, I've been sneezing so much today. I think allergies, man. Our weather over here in Ontario, it's becoming fall, summer to fall transition, and I think it's just my allergies. Holy moly. We are playing a fun game of Am I the A-hole? Where we will judge if people are an a-hole or if they are not an a-hole. Am I the a-hole for keeping the refund from my ex? Nope. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I have no idea. We will see, won't we? My ex and I were meant to go on holiday and we booked an Airbnb together. It was for a week and the total was $2,000. I was a bit apprehensive for the trip because I felt like something wasn't quite right in the relationship, but he seemed really excited for it. We split the bill 50-50. About 2 weeks before the trip, I found out he was cheating on me, and when I confronted him, he was desperate for us to work things out, but I ended things the same day, as you should. I didn't really think about the trip or anything, but a week later, I got a text asking me to refund the money. I messaged the host and canceled the trip and sent him a screenshot showing we weren't getting a refund because we canceled so close to the trip date. Secretly though, I messaged the host and came up with an excuse that we were sick and had to cancel last minute, and so could she give us a refund as this was not our fault? Graciously, the host agreed. I got that $2,000 in my account and I kept it a secret. When I told my friends, they were split on whether I should keep the money. Some told me I should, others were calling me an a-hole for keeping it. It is causing a huge argument in my friendship circle. Am I the a-hole? I mean, my sassy little petty self wants to sit here and say, girl, the least he could do is give you $1,000 for cheating on you. You take that $1,000 and you say, thank you, sir. This will go towards paying the therapist I'm going to need after the trauma and heartbreak you just caused me. But I also see the money has nothing to do with the cheating and it would be right to give the refund back. But truly, I'm torn in myself because my emotions are being like, no, keep the money. Screw that guy. He cheated. Poo on you. You shouldn't have cheated on me. So I'm torn myself, honestly. Am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out of my wedding? Ooh, juicy drama. Oh, it's a male. I definitely thought this was going to be like a sister versus sister because girls can be a little petty, a little catty sometimes. I, 27 male, recently got married to my wonderful husband. I don't know why this made me so happy, but I was re-watching Shameless. And if you've seen the show, Ian and Mickey, they are a gay couple and they ended up together in the season that I'm currently watching. So this just makes me so happy. Anyways, I, 27 male, recently got married to my wonderful husband. It was a small wedding with just our family and closest friends. My husband and I both love space, so we decided to have a space-themed wedding. That is so cool. I've never heard of a space-themed wedding. We had star decorations, a galaxy marble cake, and fairy lights. I wish I was there. I even wore a tux with my little white stars on it. That is so freaking cool. I might take this idea. My sister, 32 female, was invited to be the ring bearer as she and I are very close. However, when she showed up at the wedding, she was wearing a Halloween costume of Saturn. She was literally dressed up like the planet. We made it very clear in our invitations that this wedding was strictly formal. My sister and I joke around a lot, so I laughed about it and asked her to get ready as the wedding was starting soon, but she fully planned to bring us the rites in her Halloween costume. She refused to change into a serious outfit, saying that our family would find it funny because Saturn has rings and she's the ring bearer. This was the most important day of my life and I expected her to take it seriously, even though we often joke around. So I told her she could change or she could leave. Ugh. She called me over dramatic and left. Am I the a-hole? Oh my God. I feel like kicking her out of the wedding, like over that. Like she didn't do something like malicious and terrible. Like I understand that that's not the vibe you want at your wedding and you're like, okay, I get your intentions are to be funny. I don't find it funny. I don't think it's worth kicking someone out of the wedding for, especially when they weren't intentionally trying to do anything and they thought we would laugh about it, and the Saturn ring bearer thing is kind of funny. I understand it would be a planet walking down the aisle in all your pictures, but I don't think it's worth kicking your sister out of your special day over that. That's my opinion. I just feel like I'd rather just laugh that off than kick her out of the wedding. Then she's not even a part of the special day. And you guys are close and you often joke around. I don't know, guys. This one's tough. Let me know what you think. This one's tough. I think it's funny, but that's not me. It's not my wedding. But I think it's funny. Am I the a-hole for not giving my grandson his college inheritance? Ooh. For background, my mother left my eldest grandchild $40K plus for college. Well, that is very generous. He was a minor when she passed and I was left in charge of the money. She told me it was to be used for his college education. Right out of high school, he moved into an apartment and started to attend community college. He had a scholarship for the first 2 semesters, so we weren't worried about using the inheritance yet. He also paid rent with his own savings from working on the family farm, so again, no need for the inheritance at this point. Well, after the first semester, he decided college wasn't for him. He got a job as a heavy equipment operator and lived in the same college town for 4 years. After 4 years of working in construction, he moved back home to work on the family farm full time. The farm is owned by my husband and my son, the father of my grandson. My husband is too old to carry on with the strenuous work of farm life, and my son fell into a deep depression after divorcing his second wife and started to abuse alcohol. My grandson moved back here and took over all the duties on the farm. He's currently 25 years old, and for the last 3 years, he's been running the farm. I do all the book work, and I have for the last 50 plus years, but he does everything else and has helped me keep the business afloat. He lives in an RV on the farm property because he doesn't want to pay rent in town, and he says he's closer to work this way also. He says he loves his life and wants to stay farming no matter how much we've tried to convince him to get a college degree and pursue something that will make him more money. The only other thing he loves is cooking, which he says just isn't a viable career path for him money-wise, unless he were to open his own deli restaurant. These last couple months, he sat down with me and his grandpa and told us he should have access to his college funds. His argument is that he's 25, has proven he's independent as an adult, and doesn't see himself benefiting from college. Also told us that college wasn't a wise investment for him because of his plans. He says he won't blow it on stupid things, but may use it to jumpstart a business, his deli/restaurant. I refused to give it to him outright because that money was for college, not for starting a business. He says he feels belittled because he's an adult and we're withholding his money from him. But I don't believe that's the case. It was left for college and should be honored as such. Am I the a-hole? Listen, I totally understand your perspective and you can wish that he goes to college and whatnot, but I don't see what the future is here if you're saying this money is only going to be used for college if that person doesn't want to go to college. You can't force someone to go through college. It's their life. What if he doesn't want to go to college? And it's different. It's not like he's not working. Like it'd be different if he was just, sitting on the couch every day, not wanting to work, not wanting to go to school, and then being like, give me my 40 grand, But he's trying to start a business, maybe. He's trying to better his future. I think his grandma would probably want that. As long as it's benefiting his future and his career, I'm sure she'd be happy with that. I don't think she'd be happy if you're holding it from him. If he's decided at 25 for his life, I'm not going to school. Am I the a-hole for not backing down on my daughter's teachers calling her the proper name? It was labeled not the a-hole poo mode. What the hell is poo mode on Reddit? My daughter Alexandra, 14 female, hates shortened versions of her name. This has gone on since she was about 10. The family respects it, and she's pretty good about advocating for herself should someone call her Lexi, Alex, etc. She also hates when people get her name wrong and just wants to be called Alexandra. Well, thank God I'm saying it right. She took Spanish in middle school. The teacher wanted to call all students by the Spanish version of their name, provided there was one. So she tried to call Alexandra Alejandra. Alexandra corrected her and the teacher respected it. She had the same teacher all 3 years in middle school, so it wasn't an issue. Now she's in high school and is taking Spanish. Once again, the new teacher announced if a student had a Spanish version of their name, she'd call them that. So she called Alexandra Alejandra. Alexandra corrected her, but the teacher ignored her. My daughter came home upset after the second week. I am not the type of mom to write emails, but I felt I had to in this case. If matters, this teacher is not Hispanic herself, so this isn't a pronunciation issue. Her argument is if these kids ever went to a Spanish-speaking country, they'd be calling them by that name. I found this excuse a little weak as the middle school Spanish teacher actually was Hispanic, that's interesting, who had come here from a Spanish-speaking country, and she respected Alexandra's wishes. The teacher tried to dig her heels in, but I said if it wasn't that big of a deal in her eyes, that she calls her Alejandra, why is it such a big deal to just call her Alexandra? Eventually, she gave in. Alexandra confirmed that her teacher is calling her by her proper name. My husband feels I blew this out of proportion and Alexandra could have sucked it up for a year. The school has 3 different Spanish teachers, so odds are she could get another one in her sophomore year. Am I the a-hole? I don't think you're an a-hole for like being a mom and being protective of your kid's feelings in that sense. If your kid came home upset, doesn't want to be called a different name, I understand as a mom you want to email and say, hey, my kid's upset. I don't want my kid upset. It's kind of weird. I'm like, I understand what the teacher's trying to do in her classroom, but at the same time, is it that big of a deal to just call her Alexandra? But maybe all the other kids will start being like, well, I don't want you saying my name in Spanish then. If you're not saying her name in Spanish, like, well, I want my normal name. But I don't know. I just feel like it's not the end of the world for a teacher to just call them by Alexandra and teach them their Spanish name. And if they want to go by it, awesome. If not, that's okay too. Moms out there, dads out there, tell me what you think about this. It's a lot different because I don't have a kid. My emotions are not invested in this, right? Like, I don't know. Am I the a-hole for telling someone their painting wasn't worth $100? Even if I thought that, I would never say that to someone. My husband and I were cruising Bourbon Street in NOLA on vacation, and we come across this guy on the corner selling paintings. He had some interesting stuff, but not really anything that stood out to me as a must-have. My husband asked what he was selling them for, and he said $100. My husband asked me what I thought, and I told him I wouldn't buy it. The guy looked at me and said, my art has hung in galleries, biatch. I'm offering it at that price as a courtesy to him because he's a horror fan. I said, that's awesome. And I'm not saying your piece isn't worth $100. It's just not worth $100 to me. Am I the a-hole? I think everyone is entitled to an opinion. It's not worth $100 to you, but to others it might be. I just would never say that to someone. I feel like you could just not say that to him. Even if your husband kind of like steps aside, like you just say like, babe, can we step aside and talk about it for a sec? And then you're like, babe, I wouldn't spend the money on it, but like if you really like it and you're a big horror fan and you think it's worth $100, go for it. I don't think I would insult the artist. Like I wouldn't say that to an artist. Like sometimes you can keep these thoughts inside. The brutally honest thoughts, like we can just keep them inside. Probably better up here. Honestly, I keep a lot. There's a lot going on up here that is just not nice to say aloud, so don't say it. Am I the a-hole for not allowing a baby monitor to be a substitute for a babysitter? This is concerning. My wife and I have small children under 5 years old. So does the couple next door. The way our street is set up, our front door face each other. They are on the sides of our houses and are only separated by about 15 to 20 feet. You can easily see inside one's house from the other if doors are open. The couple next door and my wife had a discussion when I wasn't around and all agreed that if one of the couples decided to go out, we could just give the baby monitor to the other couple to watch the kids. In fairness to them, they only said they'd do this while the kids were asleep. Okay, so they're not leaving kids unsupervised and awake, and the signal for the baby monitor does reach from one house to the next. When I heard the idea, I immediately said no. What if there's a fire or some other emergency? What if the monitor's signal gets disconnected and we won't realize it? What if the kids wake up and find an empty house? My wife told the other couple the deal was off and they've been cold to me ever since. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. My mind just started racing with every possible thing that could go wrong. Like, what if the connection is lost? You can't rely on any kind of connection with technology. That can go at any point in time for no reason at all. Sometimes without any explanation. No, I think for the safety of your own children, you should want someone physically there. That's crazy to me. I'm not even a parent and I still feel so protective over the situation. Like, that's mind-boggling. Just walk across and stay at their house at that point. That actually blows my mind that parents would be okay with that. Is that just me? Would you guys be okay with that if you're a parent out there? Am I the a-hole for making fun of my bald bully? Huh? I, 15 male, was born with a birthmark, a big birthmark on my face. It looked like a large scar across my eye. And a few days ago, in my 9th grade math class, a new student had started attending after moving home and therefore schools. This girl had something called alopecia. I can't say this. I always butcher it, I believe. She was completely bald and she wasn't really a nice student. Yesterday, as I was walking past her at her locker on the way to class, she glared at me and said, "Hey there, ugly Scarface." I was hurt and also angered by her comment, and I turned to her and shot back with, "Ugly is pretty ironic from someone who looks like a giant penis." After I said that, she held the top of her head, immediately ran off crying. I got in trouble in the office and now have to spend the rest of the week in detention during lunch for it. And I think it's unfair how she got off with no consequences for calling me ugly. Am I the a-hole? Well, I think truthfully, you both are in the wrong because she should not call you ugly and you should have not said what you said. Of course, it'd be the right thing that even if she called you ugly and made fun of you, you walk away from the bully. You don't stoop down to their level, but that is much easier said than done. Let's keep it real. I know that's tough because if someone said that to me, I would want to be like, and run in my mouth right back because it's freaking rude. But we got to kill each other with kindness, as Selena Gomez said. So I think both of you should be in trouble technically because it's not nice. And no one was right in that situation. She started it though. That's like the 7-year-old in me. Well, you said it first. Like, I wouldn't have said anything if you didn't. Like, I could picture how I would react to this as a kid. And yeah, my sass, I would be mouthy. It's not nice. Don't do it. You're just as bad as the bully if you're saying comments like that. Anyways, I'm out of here, you guys. Let me know if you want to see another episode of Am I the A-hole? I'm out of here. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. And I'll see you tomorrow.